Welcome. This is a really exciting moment for Men's Radio Station. It's something that we've been talking about for absolutely ages. Hello, I'm what's left of Russ, Kane, and joining me for his show, because it is his show, is Ollie Mammon. Hi, Ollie. How are you?
Hey Russ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Do you love the background that I have to say it was Phil Dave who found this, or I think it was either Phil or Sinner. Can you see the background?
Of course, I think it's pretty
To our
cool. You know,
pictures.
you've got the
I
little
think
hemp plant and stuff. Your
that
little
is
cat,
that is very, very
syringe
cool.
of Pico.
Now, Ollie, you and I have been talking for absolutely months on this, so I'm excited that the time has finally come for
Very
us to do
exciting.
the show. Right, introduce yourself, because I just want to act here as everyman, because what I know about CBD, you could write on a postage stamp and still have room for the entire works of J.K. Rowling. You're the guru. So kick off, introduce yourself to everybody, and then let's get weaving.
So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity.
It's our pleasure.
My name's Oliver Mammon. Like Russ was saying, we've actually been speaking about this for a while. I mean, I think the first time this idea came into conversation was probably about February. I did done a couple of little things since then with Men's Radio, but I mean, I'm really glad that this is kind of here, and you know, please God, it's here to stay, and hopefully we get some good information across. Anyway, so my name's Oliver Mammon. I am a product designer. I call myself like a lab director, or my coin term is infusionologist. I create CBD products. I create.
Say that word again. I love that word. Say that word again.
Infusionologist.
That's great.
I tell you why, because this is the thing: is I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a mixologist, and unfortunately, in a new world and in a new market, new terminology needs to come into play. And our job in the CBD market is to infuse products correctly. So, like I said, I coined the term infusionologist, which I do kind of get ridiculed for. But like I said, I'm not a scientist. So it's very important from the offset. We know that I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but I am someone who's devoted my life to CBD and understanding cannabinoids. And I'm someone who has literally built a fantastic business over the last 5 years in the CBD space. And I'm very active in this industry. And that's basically me. Now, I'm a little bit of a liability, hence why I asked Russ to kind of be by my side. You know, it's that whole idea that
You've only known him for 3 minutes. I've known him for several months.
I'm saying if there's a line which can be crossed, there's a 66% chance I'm going to cross it. Okay. And fact of the matter is like I kind of needed Russ as almost my radio anchor to kind of make sure that I don't completely embarrass myself.
Oh my God. Now, let me ask you, Ollie, straight away. What first attracted you and how did you get into the business of CBD?
Fine. So, I have quite bad Tourette syndrome. I was diagnosed when I was 7 years old. So that's 25 years ago, a quarter of a century. Oh my God, I feel so old. Anyway, so 25 years ago.
Do you want to swap?
To be honest with you, you've got a lot of wisdom behind those grades. You know, I'll take that. So basically, I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome 25 years ago. Now, 25 years ago, mental health in general was very much uncharted territory, and things like Tourette syndrome were very much just new words being thrown around by doctors, you know. And even if there was studies, the studies were far and few apart, and the understanding around the disorder was very limited. Now, don't know what you know about Tourette, but you've got like a cluster. So you've got your obsessive compulsive disorder, you've got your attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder sometimes. And then you also have some form of physical or verbal spasm. As a child, I had a lot more physical twitches. I believe that cannabinoids have really helped me with that.
Who first suggested, Ollie, that you try this to try and ease up some of your symptoms?
No one. Like literally, my journey has unfortunately been all me. I've never had anyone like me to kind of talk about my problems with. I've never really had anyone to kind of have that back and forth with. And you know, when I was 16 years old, I tried cannabinoids for the first time, and I noticed a drastic change in my situation, you could say. Just everything just seemed just to slow down, and I found that it really helped me. Now, you know, between
Now, when you
16.
said,
Sorry,
Ollie, when you said, because there's a whole lot of information that we're going to have to get over the coming weeks from you.
so much.
So there's tons. And straight away, a lovely comment from Sue Cressman. Goodness, what a wonderful man.
Who?
That's
Russ?
you. No, you fool.
Are you sure she's not talking about you?
No, she's
you
talking
silver
about
stallion. Look at you behind that. How come you get a big microphone and I've got to deal with this poncy little thing on my computer somewhere?
Because one of us is the professional. Anyway,
Can you
moving
please
on.
buy me a microphone?
No, buy it yourself. You've got the successful business. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you said I was 16 and I had, do you mean you smoked? I'm going to be very honest here. Let's just be adult. You know, we're all over 21. Do you mean you did proper CBD stuff, or you? Or
No,
you
so
took
CBD wasn't really around when I was 16. So I had like my first interaction with cannabinoids was smoking a joint.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
However, it's very important for me to say this. It wasn't the be all and end all. Okay. And it's quite important. You know, I'm very, very, very pro all cannabinoids, but it's all about cannabinoids need to have their purpose. Now, fact of the matter is when you've got stuff to do, like honestly, weed doesn't help. That's the honest truth. It doesn't help. You know, it's fantastic. Everyone loves getting high, but I mean, when you've got stuff to do on a weekly basis, it doesn't help.
Well, let's be careful. Let's just be careful for a second there. I don't do drugs. It's not a moral thing. I just don't do them. I never have done drugs. So it's a little bit of a sort of painting with a huge paintbrush. Say everybody loves getting high.
No. Hold on. I don't rephrase that. Yeah. Sorry, you are completely right. It's a bit of a strange. Like a lot of people like consuming cannabis.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people find tremendous benefits from it. I personally found that I had benefits from it, but I also had, you could say, negatives. I had things which I had negative effects from it as well. It wasn't only a positive experience for me.
Right.
So it wasn't a negative experience. I'm not anti-cannabis in any way whatsoever. But there was this, well, as soon as I found CBD, I realized that there are certain things which I can get from other cannabinoids without having a full spectrum extract with the plethora of different compounds which are found in the cannabis plant. So my first interaction with cannabinoids was when I was 16 years old, like a lot of people. I found that it did help me. I've never really been much of a drinker. I am a smoker. However, that's not what I'm here to really talk about. You know, I'm like my relationship with cannabis is one thing. CBD is what's really helped me, and CBD is kind of what I've built my business around. You know, don't get me wrong. Other cannabinoids are incredible, but unfortunately, we live in the UK, and in the UK, there are governing rules which mean that, you know, that cannabis is illegal. And fact of the matter is, in all honesty, I've got this weird view that I'm not really pro legalization or against legalization. I wouldn't really call myself an activist, and I really also wouldn't call myself an advocate. You know, like for me, it was all about finding something that works and then understanding that that is right for you. And it's not necessarily about everything being right for everybody. It's about you personally going on your personal journey and finding what's right for you.
And again, let's be clear, because of Men's Radio Station, what we are not doing is saying, hey, let's set up a drug program. We're not doing that. We're not 1965, and we're not living in Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, and I don't intend to be wearing caftans and beads.
No, 1,000,000% not.
The whole interest, the whole interest that we had with you, Ollie, and what is so fascinating is really the medicinal aspects and your laboratory and your company. That is a million miles away from some Herbert sitting on the corner smoking a joint. That's not what we're talking about.
Fine. So one thing, so we've kind of just gone completely off track here, but I mean, it's fine. So it's very important to understand that you're creating a separation, Russ. Now, the separation is one thing which I don't want to do. All right. Now, you're creating a separation between CBD and cannabis. Now, what I'm actually really would love to do with this show is I want to create kind of a bridge but it's a bridge of understanding as opposed to a bridge of acceptance. Blind acceptance doesn't help anyone, but general understanding enables you to navigate situations which you wouldn't be able to previously navigate because you understand what situation you're in. I am like one thing which we're not going to do on this course. I've got a list of things which we're not doing. We're not going to give medicinal advice on cannabis. It's not going to happen because A, it's illegal, and B, I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm not that dude. All right. I can't give you advice on illegal cannabinoids. All right. I can't give you advice on where to source illegal cannabinoids. I can't give you a cannabis prescription. All right. And I will not pass negative judgment on my competitors' brands. Those are 5 things which I do not want to do on the course of this show. All right. Because facts of the matter is there are doctors out there who can give you medicinal advice. If you want advice on illegal cannabinoids, you can find it on the internet. And to be honest with you, like a radio show is not the place for me to do that. And to be honest with you, I live in England. It's not that society. If I was living in California, maybe, but I mean, in England, we just can't do that.
No, right, so we're going to stick by the rule. We're going to stick by the law and be very clear about it. We are sticking by the law.
1,000,000% we're sticking by the law. Also, what we have to offer in terms of an understanding and an education is a lot more easy to digest when you simplify things and break them down. So over the course of the next few weeks, our aim is to kind of break things down into manageable understanding and into manageable portions which are easy to digest. Now, we do have a whole bunch of guests which we're going to be bringing on over the next few months. Okay. And some of them are pro-cannabis advocates. And from them, you will get as much information as you want to get, because if they want to share it, they can do it. I personally have this belief that you need an understanding before you can get a prescription. All right. So you need an understanding before you can get advice. You know, the problem is in this industry is that there's so much bad advice. So you have so many people who are being told one thing. So for example, you walk into a CBD shop to buy CBD and you tell the shop owner that your husband has cancer, God forbid. He will tell you maybe that CBD will cure his cancer, which is just ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create almost a communication and an understanding about the topic of CBD and about the topic of cannabinoids, so we can help you guys basically find what you need. And it's important that you understand the differences between cannabis oils. You know, this term cannabis oil is so misused. You know, everything from a high THC illegal oil to a high CBD non-illegal oil are all cannabis oils.
Before we get into the confusion, a high, and you then did three letters. So
THC.
Yes. Explain.
Tetrahydrocannabidiol. Tetrahydrocannabidiol is a compound found in cannabis. It is fully illegal. It's actually been made medicinal, but I mean, that's a different conversation. The medicinal system in the UK is a bit strange at the moment, but it's currently fully illegal for recreational use, and it's a psychotropic compound. It's the compound which produces the high of cannabis. Now, if you have an oil which contains THC, tetrahydrocannabidiol, or you have an oil which contains CBD, they're both cannabis oils. Okay, they're not both CBD oils, but they're both cannabis oils. So the term cannabis oil is being widely misused. And the thing is, you go online and you read research about cannabis oils, you're reading research about everything from high THC oils all the way through to high CBD oils. So let's say you go and read an article in America that cannabis oil has cured cancer. Okay, you don't actually know what they're talking about. It's a little bit like when you talk about pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals have ruined my life. Pharmaceuticals have saved my life. What pharmaceutical? Like, what are you actually talking about? Because it's not ibuprofen or, you know, Xanax or paracetamol. It's whatever it is. And it's not, you know, one pill isn't everything. Every pill is its own its own compound. It's its own medication in the pharmaceutical world. And in the cannabis world, it's very important for us to think the same. That every oil is its own oil with its own benefits and its own uses. Now, what we are going to try and do is focus on the CBD side of that market. Why? Because the CBD side is legal and it's still as convoluted and complicated. And a lot of people will walk in and they'll buy a CBD product and they have no idea why it works. And then the next one they buy, they have no idea why it doesn't work. And it's all about creating that understanding for you to know why your last product has worked and why this product doesn't. And for you to know full well what's right for you, and for you to know full well what products you need to use, what receptors you need to target, what milligram dosage you need, what percentage product you need, whether you need a broad spectrum or you need an isolate. And that's what we're really here to kind of discuss.
What's an isolate?
An isolate. It's a form of CBD extract. So you have, once again, all of this stuff we're going to cover in weeks to come. You know, like we have episode breakdowns where we're literally going to discuss isolate versus distillate, not in terms of what's better and what's worse, but it's what's right for you. So let's go back to, but I don't think I've done myself justice introducing myself. All right. Like I feel like we've rushed away from that. So my name's Ollie. All right. Start from the beginning. My name's Ollie and I have Tourette syndrome. All right. It's very important you guys know this because I'm a little bit mental, and it's important that I kind of do this. And Russ kind of took me down 17,000 steps before I kind of got the chance to finish the first one. So like at 7 years old, diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, 16 years old, tried my first cannabinoids, and 23 years old, tried my first bit of CBD. And when I tried my first bit of CBD, I was really in the dark. All right. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what was what and how it worked and why it worked and why it didn't work. So I was left probably in the same position that a lot of you are. But 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, the market was very different. There were a few products you can buy from Holland and America and this and that. There was Charlotte's Web and there were a few other products like that. But in general, the mass market domination of CBD products, which exist today, didn't exist then. And I remember trying products and not getting anything from them, and then buying a CBD oil which just said CBD oil and not knowing what was in it. And I started asking questions. So number one, what is in this product? So a milligram is something. They talk about CBD in terms of milligram doses. A milligram of CBD is an active measurement of a compound. It means something. So when you buy a CBD oil, which is 1,000 milligrams in a 10 mil, so it's a 10% product, it means something. It means that every drop is 5 milligrams. Now, if you buy 1,000 milligram tincture in a 30 mil bottle, it means that every drop is about 1.667 milligrams. It's a big difference. You've got about 3 times more in the smaller bottle, 3 times more in the higher percentage bottle, which means that every drop you take is going to be 3 times more effective. 10 drops of one and 10 drops of the other are completely different. Now, I was in this position where I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know where to go, and I was left in the dark. At this moment of time, my brother lived in America. He's a Cannabis Cup winning, High Times winning cannabis grower. He now lives in Israel, and he runs a clinic with 3,000 patients. All right. He's very involved in the medical cannabis side as well. We are almost a cannabinoid family, you could say. Anyway, so he sent me, when he was in America, he sent me about 5 grams of CBD. Okay, it worked out about 5,000 milligrams in a little wrap. And I remember it arrived at my door, and I was like, what do I do with this? And I made my first capsules and my first tinctures and my first body oils, all of which were mathematically accurate. And I gave it to someone knowing full well that every drop they took was X. And what happened is we were able to measure. So we measured that, you know, if they took 10 drops, they felt nothing. But if they took 20 drops, they felt something. If they took 15 drops, they felt something similar to the 20, but not as much as the 20. And 16 drops was exactly where they needed to be. Now, we could only do this knowing exactly what was in it. So we knew that it wasn't 16 drops. It was 75 milligrams or 80 milligrams. Now, that 80 milligrams meant something. It means that if that person is never not with me, they can still get the product that's right for them. It means that I knew that I needed a 1,000 milligram tincture, a 10%, 1,000 milligram tincture. I needed 10 drops over the course of the day. And that's what I needed in order to get me to where I am. Now, my first interaction, like I originally said with Russ on the first ever show we did, was I did it for selfish reasons. I did it to find what was right for me. Over the course of the last 5-6 years, I've applied the same principles to absolutely everyone who's come my way. Now, I don't know what's going to be right for them. I just know if I give them a product which they can measure, they will be able to figure out what's right for them. So like with you, Russ, I gave you some drops to help you sleep. And I told you, just keep a track of the drops. Now, I don't know how it's helped you or not, but then I don't know if you've had an interesting reaction or not. But it's all about mathematical accuracy and making sure that you know that you're taking. What I made Russ was a 3,000 milligram, 30%. So it's a 30% 10 ml bottle, 3,000 milligrams. Every drop works out about 15 milligrams. So how many drops have you been taking a night, Russ?
Well, you told me to take you told me to take 3.
Yeah, which would be 45 milligram dose.
Yeah. So that's what I've been taking on the tip of my tongue.
Has it been helping you sleep?
It has been helping. Well, you know, I'm always very honest on radio. What I was expecting.
I don't want you to lie.
A bit late for that, Ollie. Doing this since 1984.
Never lie.
Never lie. Here's the thing. In my ignorance, and Ollie and I said, look, Ollie, I can't sleep. I have a shocking insomnia. So I said, can you help? And this was subsequent to Ollie coming on the show ages ago. And then we were building up to doing this show. Now, as a punter, wearing purely my punter's hat, and you'll get this, Ollie, I thought I would take 3 drops on my tongue and immediately feel sleepy, and off I go to sleep. Doesn't work like that for me at all. And I've varied the dose. I didn't know. I mean, you understand. How would I know? So I roll. I'll tell you what I do is just get the thing that. Where's the? I can't find it. Here we go. So you gave me this as well to sort of roll on my temples, which smells great as well. And I do that, and I put that on my temple. And then I took the drops, and I felt relaxed. I didn't feel particularly sleepy, but I did go to sleep. So I was very, very pleased with it, because for me, that was a terrific result. I don't take sleeping pills, and it did help. There's no two ways about it. It actually did help. I found it relaxing, but I was in complete control. It just felt like me, but a little bit more relaxed, which helped me to drift off eventually to sleep. What it did not do was knock me out straight away. Just to be clear.
That's fair. Now, the fact of the matter is when we spoke, like I said to you, I don't know if it's going to work. All I can do is, all I could do is help you to find a realistic dose and make something which is reliable and consistent, to make sure that next time you take the same product, when you finish that bottle, you have the same effects. Now, what I'm curious about is, did you try and up your dose?
A little bit. I didn't want to go.
Did it help?
Not hugely. I didn't want to go. I'll be honest, Ollie. I didn't want to go raving mad, because I'm always very cautious with these things, and I could have just gone potty and just said, "Hey, let's see what happens." But I upped it maybe to 6 drops, possibly. But
so that's
that was
about
it.
a 90 milligram dose.
Yeah. So I didn't go. I didn't go beyond that.
Before bed? How long before bed?
Yeah. Just before bed. Just before
bed. And did you find that maybe you were? It took a while before you drifted off to sleep?
A little bit. But what I'm fascinated is, there's 2 things here, and I'm going to ask you this. One is, I have no idea if it was in my head that it helped me go to sleep, or it helped me go to sleep. The fact is, it helped me go to sleep. Do you see the difference? I don't care whether it was in my mind, hey, I've taken all his stuff, now I'm going to go to sleep, or I just went to sleep anyway. So I'm thrilled. I'm sold.
Did you find that the CBD head roller I made you made a difference or not?
Yeah, I really like that.
Did you find that?
I found that I'll be quite frank, I found that relaxing. Now, it's not like having a drink. I'm just trying to be clear to everyone watching all over the world. It's not like you have a drink and you go, if I have a single malt or a vodka or something like that. It's not the same. It's quite strange. It's not the same thing at all. I just apply this before I go to sleep on my temples, and A, it smells great, and B, so my dog's thrilled, but B is it is relaxing.
But what made you think that it would be like a drink?
Because if you take a drink, you can go, sometimes you do. Sometimes people just drink because they're thirsty, because they like the taste. Both. and I thought it would have that effect, to make you feel tired. It didn't make me feel tired like that. It made me feel relaxed,
And
which is
that's what it will do.
quite different from feeling tired. So I
No,
hope
of
that
course.
makes sense
Of
to
course.
you as
A
an
million
expert. I'm
percent.
just talking as a punter here.
No, it's very important. It's very important because this is what people experience. The whole point is it's not a pharmaceutical which is designed to like knock you out or numb you out or anesthetic the hell out of you. It's not made for that. So what happens is in your body you have different receptors. Okay, you have your CB1 receptors in your brain and your central nervous system. You have CB2 receptors across your muscular system and in your immune system. Now, what happens? And you have CB3 receptors which emerge in times of trauma. So, God forbid, I fall down the stairs and I hurt my knee. All right, my CB2 and my CB3 receptors are going crazy inside of my body, saying he's hurt his knee. He's hurt his knee. What happens then is your body synthesizes and produces a compound called anandamide. Anandamide actually has the same chemical structure as CBD. So when your body can't synthesize the cannabinoids at a fast enough rate, what happens is we, what's it called? Like we can supplement our body's intake with CBD cannabinoids and, balance out that level. Now, what happens is these, like anandamide's job is to like modulate and regulate these receptors. So basically it's a project manager for pain and for pain and ailment recovery. So imagine in your body, you've got your CB1 receptors in your brain, which are fully alert. What happens is you take your CBD, it starts to produce the anandamide, and it's like smart tech. It knows that that your brain needs it because also you're taking it as a tongue drop, so it's more likely to kind of target your CB2 and CB1 and CB2 receptors as opposed to using a topical applied directly to an area of trauma, which is more likely to affect your CB2, CB3 receptors. So you're targeting, the right receptors. And what happens is your brain is doing what it should do. It relaxes before bed as opposed to going crazy. Now, different people have restlessness for different reasons. You have restlessness because you have an overactive mind. I sometimes lie in bed and my ADHD will just kick off and I am sitting there and I go on missions in my mind. Okay, to be honest with you, last night I got to bed at like 4 a.m. because I was thinking about how am I going to screw up the show today? Do you know what I mean? It's just literally, and every single opportunity of how I could screw it up. The one thing I've done so far is I haven't sworn. 27 minutes I haven't sworn. This is actually fantastic. Considering I'm, I'll be honest with you.
Considering the conversation, yes.
Guys, you will hear me swear. Okay, I'm letting you know you will hear me. So I've asked for a 9 p.m. watershed. They gave me 6. So I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. You will hear me swear at one moment. I do apologize in advance. Now, what happens is your brain creates, your body creates this anandamide, or you supplement your body's intake. And then what happens is it goes to work. When you have people with pain, they'll very often say, I can still feel it, but it's just not as bad. So what happens is it's not an anesthetic, it's not a numbing, it's not made to shut your system off to what is going on. It's made to make your system deal with the issue. So it's a little bit like you've got confrontation with someone. You either ignore it, solve the issue, or you fight through the discomfort and you solve the issue. Either way, the issue is going to be solved either by removing the issue or by dealing with the issue. CBD doesn't remove it, it deals with it. And that is one thing which we found. We found that a lot of people who use it will find that it's not suppressing their feelings. It's not suppressing their pain. It means something. It means something when you're someone who's, addicted to opioids and you've got immense pain and you can't function. And it's either you can't function because you're on opioids or you can't function because you're in pain. CBD enables these people to function, which is kind of incredible. You could be like popping back pills to get to sleep, and then you'll wake up the next day groggy. And then what happens is you're fighting the fact that you're ignoring the situation. But what you're trying to do and what the anandamide is trying to do, what the CBD is trying to do is help you resolve the situation. And it's quite nice, actually. Also, it's not a foreign body. Everyone, a lot of these pharmaceutical products out there on the market are foreign entities. They are chemicals produced in laboratories, made by man for man to take, but your body's never had anything like this in there before. CBD has that mirror in your body. It has like an endocannabinoid, cannabinoids produced by your body, and cannabinoids produced by plants have the same chemical structure. So you're only introducing to your system something which is theoretically already there, which is kind of, I always found that quite relaxing. You know, the fact that I'm putting something in my system that's already there. It's like, you know, taking iron. We all have iron in our blood. Some of us have iron deficiencies, you know, so we take more iron in order to balance us off. You know, it's the same sort of thing. It's less scary than taking, I don't know, a chemical compound which isn't already present in the human genome.
I have to totally agree with you. And if people are trying, if you've taken sleeping pills, I don't take sleeping pills, I never have. But if you
Never done it.
But if you do, like if I was on long distance flights and stuff like that, I would sometimes take melatonin, right, which you can get over the counter in the States. Now, if you take that, it knocks you out. It knocks you out. You get that feeling, and as you're saying, Ollie, because it's a foreign body, so to speak, not a gag on going to America, you just feel kind of, you know, zonked. You know what I mean? But the preparation that you made individually for me, and I will stress that that's what you do for everybody. It is
not what I do for everybody. No, that's not what I do for everybody. But I mean, we can move on to that. I did it for you because you're special. You're my co-presenter, buddy. Come on, I've got to take care
that's
of you.
Why I'm special. All of a sudden, that's why I'm special. Right.
If you're all sleepy, what are we going to do? Who's going to control me? Who's going to control me, Russ?
That's the point. God knows. Is the answer is God knows. But the point I'm making is you don't get that feeling when you wake up, you've taken sleeping pills and stuff, and you feel really groggy. You think, oh God, it's like having the worst hangover. There's none of that. You just feel more relaxed. You do not feel groggy. It's like exactly you. It's just a little bit more relaxed version of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
That's how I would describe. That's why I liked it.
I like that. So this is the big issue. The big issue is I didn't really want to talk about CBD actually on this first chat. I didn't want to start talking about like what products do and this and that. I wanted to kind of move that on because I feel like some listeners might be listening in and thinking, what the hell are they talking about? And the thing is, I kind of wanted to build up.
Everyone's following it and everyone's loving it. Lovely comments about you.
As long as people are following it and enjoying it, that's all that matters. Fine. I've got some bullet points here. I want to read them out. All right. This is what I am aiming to do on this show. And I would love to just get through this because I feel like you guys need to hear this. You might tell me to shut up. If you tell me to shut up, that's absolutely fine. Fine. So the main thing of what I aim to do on this show is I just want to help. I think that's that's the honest truth. I really just want to help you guys. You know, like I know about CBD because I've made it my life. I know that there are so many. I know we manufacture for like 200 different brands. Okay. Plus, there are other manufacturers out there who probably manufacture it for equal, if not more. And then you have all of the resellers and everyone who basically buys someone else's product and slap a new label on it. There are so many varieties and variants of CBD infused products out there, and they are made all across the world. In the UK at this moment of time, we have products from America, we have products from Canada, we have products from Spain, we have products from Eastern Europe, like Poland and Slovenia and that part of Eastern Europe. We have got products which are theoretically produced in Israel, even though they're not produced in Israel, but like Israeli tech products, which are then manufactured somewhere else and brought to the UK. We have products from literally around the world because what we have here is a free market. And I don't think if you go to America, you'll find product from around the world. You'll find American products. And if you go to Spain, you find many Spanish products.
Yep.
But what we've got in the UK is we've got almost a flooded market, to the point where you can even walk into a shop and buy a CBD infused shampoo, which, to be honest with you, as an expert, does literally nothing for you. And I've got hair down to my arse. In fact, the matter is it does nothing. All right. There is no benefit you will get off a CBD shampoo. The only thing you might get is the people who are making the CBD shampoo might make the best shampoo in the world just to put this expensive added ingredient in there. That's the only benefit I can imagine. If someone's going out there to build up a CBD shampoo, they might make it an incredible product to start with. Except for that, your body's not going to absorb it. You have a lot of other products out there, like novelty products, which are made almost for the vanity side of the market. And what we do is all about sanity. And that's one thing which I want to focus on this show is, I'm here for your sanity. I don't really want to sell to you. To be honest with you, massive issue. This show is sponsored by a company called the Tincture Club. We should have mentioned that at the beginning, Russ. We're going to get in a lot of trouble. Anyway, the Tincture Club is a subscription-based tongue drop service, very affordable product. All right. I'll be honest, full disclosure, that's my brand. All right. I don't care if you buy it or not. All right, I really don't. That's not why I'm here for. But the whole point is I didn't want to be subservient to another brand sponsoring me who I have to scream and shout about. I know if I sponsor myself, I don't have to force you guys to buy it. It's not about buying products from me. It's not about buying anything I'm selling. It's about you understanding. So when you walk into a shop, you can buy what you actually need for yourself. You know, I'm not always going to be there. You know, please God, I am, but I might not always be there. And the fact of the matter is you can't just rely on me. You have to rely on an understanding of cannabinoids in order to find what you need. And it's really important that you know that I would love you guys all to buy from me, but I don't need you to buy from me. You listening to me doesn't have to equate to you buying my product. It's not what I want. I want to stay away from activism on this thing. Don't really like the opinions about the legalization and decriminalization, all of this. It's not for this place. This is not what we're here to discuss. I also want to stay away from politics. I hate politics. Okay, I haven't watched the news in about 12 years. Okay,
you missed nothing.
No, but I hate politics. As in, over lockdown, I've been asking people for Twitter for text updates on how I can basically do my bit. Do you know what I mean? So what's going on in the world right now? I don't watch the news. I don't like it. I do vote. Don't ask me why. I don't really know who I'm voting for when I do. But I mean, I really hate politics. And the whole politics around cannabis drives me mental because that's not important to you. You don't need someone screaming at you that you shouldn't be taking CBD because your legal right is the fact that you deserve a plant that grows from the ground. That's not what we're here to discuss. What we're here to discuss is the products on the shelves in shops which you go in and you don't understand what's right for you. Why is it right for you? What's the difference? That's what we want to discuss. And it's really important that you know that I'm on your side. I really want you to trust me. Okay. I want you to trust me and not buy from me. Buy from me if you want, but I want you to trust me and trust the words I'm using as opposed to the products I'm selling. Because the words I'm using will kind of protect you for your years to come. It gives you an understanding to be able to, teach a man to fish or give a man a fish type thing. I want to teach you guys to fish. I want to teach you guys to be able to go out there and understand what you need for yourself. Maybe even go out there and start making your own products. Do you understand? That's what I want. And that's what my dream is from this show, is to create almost a platform which is actually about helping you. Because I feel like you need it, because I was once in your position, and I was in that position with less salesmen telling me what I need and what I don't need. I met someone the other week who was literally, she got sold like 2 grams worth of CBD products by a shop owner. Yeah, 2 grams worth of CBD product by a shop owner who told her it's going to cure her husband of cancer. And I literally looked at her and I said, A, do you still have your receipt? B, go back to that shop, return your goods, and then report him to the police, because that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anyone for me to turn around and say, you know what, this will cure your back, because then you're going to come and buy, and if it doesn't cure your back, I look like a liar and you're still in pain. And that's why I want to try and stay away from the medicinal and kind of focus on the understanding. It's about creating a market of consumers who understand. It's a crazy world out there. I talk a lot of these expos and events, and one of the ongoing points I always seem to make is the fact that without active users, the market is nothing. So the reason why there are so many CBD sellers is because there are so many CBD users. 1.7 million active CBD users. I think 3.5 million people have tried it, and something like 7 million.
This is the UK stats.
This is the UK. 7 million people know what it is and are interested in trying it. It's mental statistics. So you've got 1.7 million people using CBD on a yearly basis, whether it's for post-sport recovery, pain management, anxiety, or whatever they're using it for, whatever their personal decision on how it's helped them, opioid recovery, however anyone's using it, there are so many active users. And without you guys, as a manufacturer, we're irrelevant, because what are we manufacturing if you guys aren't buying? And I've always had this ongoing dialogue that if we don't take care of the patients, that's what I call you guys, anyone who's actively sourcing CBD for medicinal relief, I call you guys as a CBD patient. That's what you are. And the fact of the matter is I always say I've got this ongoing dialogue where it's all about the patients and it's all about people and it's all about you guys getting the right product. And when people turn around and they make a non-mathematically accurate product and a non-consistent product and a non-regulated product, what happens is you get let down as an end user. And I know a lot of people who have bought off brands, and what happens is the brands change their suppliers, the brands change their recipes, the brands improve their quality or decrease their quality. Either way, it creates a change, and people who were used to one thing now can't handle it anymore or now find a difference. Like we had it recently with the company who we work with, fantastic company. But what happened is they decided to move over to us because they wanted to increase their quality. Don't know if I want to mention it because I thought I was going to get in trouble. But anyway, basically, they came over to us because they wanted to increase their quality. And what happens is they didn't tell a few of their customers that they had changed suppliers. And their customers all started complaining. Why is your oil clear when the last one was black? Because we use a high quality extracted distillate and your buddy was using a FICO. And what happens is our extracts enable us to provide mathematical accuracy in our products, and your FICO enables you to have that product that you previously had. I love FICO. I use it every day. But unfortunately, FICO is always changing. In the last 3 months, I've bought 6 batches. One was 8%, one was 32, and one was 16.
What is FICO? I have no idea.
FICO is full extract cannabis oil. So FICO refers to any. Okay. Once again, this is going to be like episode 9, okay? But we're going to do this quickly here.
Yeah, but if we're going to drop terms in.
FICO is, like I said, full extract cannabis oil. What it looks like, it will look like a black paste. That's what FICO looks like. Okay. It looks like a tarry black paste. It is a full extract from the hemp plant. It will usually have a relatively low percentage of CBD, like I said, 8, 16, 32%. And then there'll be 70 to 90% of other cannabinoids, lipids, fats, terpenoids, plant matter, residual oils, and waxes. Now, it's an extract. Basically, on that picture behind the screen, that little black syringe, you know, the picture you've got on this picture behind us, the black syringe, the black syringe in the background is a FICO. And it's important to know that there is differences between CBD extracts, and all CBD extracts aren't made equal. Now, you can, using simple mathematics, get similar doses from different products, but you need to analyze the math. There's something called a certificate of analysis. It gives you the breakdown of what's exactly in a product. And that's what we live on. That's like our Bible. Our Bible is the COA. Okay. Without that COA, you can't do anything. Without that COA, I don't know what's going in a product, what's coming out of a product. I don't know what someone's taking, and I don't know if it's like legal or illegal. I mean, that COA, like I said, is the Magna Carta of CBD products. Like every single one needs one. And that important documentation, which means everything. It's like provides traceability, provides transparency with the product, and FICO in general, whereas I use it every day, it's always changing, and it has a bittery taste and it has a darker color. And what happens is individuals who will try a distillate product versus a FICO product will notice massive changes. And it's important for you to know, I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong. You might realize that the FICO works better for you. That's absolutely fine. That's the point of this show. This show is for you to realize that it's not what I say you need. It's what you actually need, and fact of the matter is, I was actually hoping Russ would turn around and say the drops didn't work for him, because that would make it a hell of a lot more of a fun experiment over the course of this show. Actually, let's help Russ sleep, but it's that process, that understanding of what one actually needs for their own ailments. That is the most important thing. And that's what we really want to get to the bottom of. Have I rambled? I rambled a lot.
No, you haven't. It's just, look, I'm very used to you. I'm just thinking that the listeners are going, and everyone watching going, wow, because the comments are fantastic. Billy Smith's loving this, Sam Cannon's loving it, Sen Monroe's loving it.
Yes, Stephen Marsh is. Can I just mention something? It's very important. Yeah. Sam Cannon, okay? Sam Cannon, guys, remember that name. Sam Cannon is doing something at the moment. What have I done?
Nothing.
Have I done something wrong?
I'm remembering his name.
Fine, that's cool. I just thought, what have I done wrong? Is he saluting me? Is he telling me to
chill out?
I can't chill out.
I'm not taking the stuff.
Okay. So basically, you told me I wasn't allowed to vape my CBD vape pen, which
Do you
means
want to have a vape? Have a vape.
having a
Go
vape.
on, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. We don't normally do it, but as it's you,
Oh, this is so good. I literally just made this before coming on because I realized that, well, I just needed it. So
fair enough. All right,
it's
fair
delicious.
enough. I don't mind. I don't mind. If my co-directors go nuts.
Very important. Sam Cannon, okay? And you guys can email me, or I'm sure you can go on Facebook and track down Sam Cannon. Sam Cannon is running this thing at the moment where he's trying to get as many patients as possible in front of a camera, okay, in order to show other users, in order to show potential users of CBD and cannabis what their counterparts in society are also doing. So in order to get like a 65-year-old man, because another 65-year-old man will relate to him more than a 16-year-old kid. And Sam's creating a documentary, you could say. So if anyone listening has got massive issues, please reach out to Sam, because he's doing something special. And the fact of the matter is, I met him in the last week or so, but the guy's doing something special. And in this industry,
do you know somebody called Billy Smith? Do you know Billy Smith?
I don't know Billy Smith. Do I know Billy Smith? I might know Billy Smith. The problem is my issue is I am absolutely terrible at names, fantastic at faces. So let me see Billy's face.
I can't
see. He's so small.
Just got his comments here. That's all.
What do you think about the FSA and March 31st deadline for novel food? Okay, Billy, novel food. I've got episode 14 dedicated to novel food. All right. The issue is at this moment of time, it's very, very, very complex. And at this moment of time, it's all a little bit up in the air. They've got a few companies out there saying that they have got their novel food application. To this date, at this moment of time, there isn't one company who has a valid novel food application. All right.
So in two sentences, so Ollie, in a couple of sentences, just because we're going to do it later in the series, when you say novel food, I always think of that as a Thomas the Tank birthday cake. What is novel food?
Fine. So novel food. Okay, fine.
Right. No, I know you want to do it, but it's come up. So
this is it. Okay. So basically, the government are an absolute bunch of crazy people. And what they've done over the last few years is basically start a war against any CBD seller. So about 2 years ago, they came out with the rule that, isolated CBD was illegal in food stuff. Completely unbacked up law. And what happened is the whole market went towards a broad spectrum. Okay, around 3 years ago, 4 years ago, everyone was using isolate. Now everyone's using broad spectrum. There is this novel food thing coming into play in March, which is basically a license for CBD products. And it's almost like a chain of custody from where the CBD has been grown and extracted all the way through to the product being bottled and sold. Now, what happens is you've got the farm needs novel food application, the manufacturer needs novel food application, the brand needs novel food application, and then they can sell it. It's a chain. So novel food cannot be, like, no brand can apply for novel food until the farm has their novel food application in. Now, a lot of people have been saying that they have novel food application in. Now, we're in contact with a very, very, very special group of people. I don't want to mention their name, just in case the last 3 weeks something's changed. Okay, in case something's changed in the last 3 weeks, I don't want to say that they said something which they might not have said. But 3 weeks ago, we had a call, and their exact words were, according through communication with the FDA, communication with the MHRA, no one has a novel food application in. But it means that by March next year, they might start to restrict CBD products, oral products being sold. It's a bit of a conspiracy. Okay, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fine. So GW Pharmaceuticals, all right, had a patent on Epidiolex. Epidiolex is basically a CBD tincture. All right, it is just a CBD tincture. They say it's not, but it's just a CBD tincture.
Okay.
All right, it's MCT oil and cannabidiol. Now, what happened is GW Pharmaceuticals trademarked the word CBD, trademarked cannabidiol, and for 5 years they had the sole distribution on it. No one listened. All right? No one listened. Everyone got involved in the market. And fact of the matter is our CBD is different from their CBD because we're not using their patented crop. We're using a different crop from a different part of the world, etc. So it doesn't affect their patent. Couldn't call it Epidiolex, But at the end of the day, we are still allowed to be involved in CBD. GW Pharmaceuticals is a very, 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 very powerful cannabis company based in the UK, probably the largest producer of single strain cannabis in the world. Okay, so they are the largest producer of a single cannabis product on the planet, based in the UK, somewhere up north. Fantastic company. I think the owner of it is used to be like the shadow cabinet secretary minister thing. Yeah, once again, I don't really know much about politics, but I'm sure that's a title. Okay.
Right.
I mean, like a shadow secretary. Shadow secretary means something.
So
right?
It's not a bloke growing this in a spare room.
No, not at all. So GW Pharmaceuticals is a massive, massive company. And what happens is they're allowed to sell their product. They've got the ability to sell it through the NHS, and they are trying to create barriers for entry for the general market. And this novel food is a little bit of I want to say it's a little bit of a fiery hoop to jump through, because in the grand scheme of things, it's a fiery hoop to jump through. We have thousands of products on the market, and now they're turning around saying, you know what, need to control it. It's a little bit mental. We have 1,000 products on the market. It's like too late. It's a little bit like with COVID. Everything's happening a bit too late. So, I mean, novel food, yes, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, but no one really knows what's going to happen, because you know, you need to have the farm who has their application before the manufacturer can have their application, before the brand can have their application. So we were expecting to have it done now, but we haven't done it either, because the whole thing's a little bit up in the air. The farms who we thought were going to go through for novel food are probably going to go bankrupt before novel food happens. And it's all a little bit up in the air. That's the honest truth. Now, another thing you'll bear in mind, that I'm not really compliance based. That's not really my job. My job is just to create kick-ass CBD products. That's literally what I do. You know, I sit in my lab, I work with terpenes and CBD extracts from all different forms and different carrier oils and different added ingredients.
And I want to make it very clear, by the way, when he says lab, he means a massive lab. We are not talking about a spare bedroom. This is a proper lab with amazing equipment. It's brilliant.
It's really tiny. You ever seen Dexter's Laboratory? Did you ever see that?
Yeah, sure. Sure, when the kids were little, yeah.
Right, do you actually remember that? Okay, brilliant. So Dexter's Laboratory. That was my favorite show ever. Basically Dexter. All right. I feel like I'm Dexter. I don't have a DD driving me mental, but I basically think I'm Dexter. Basically, my colleagues take the piss. They call me like the Willy Wonka of CBD. So it's that sort of,
does one of our listeners get a golden ticket and win it?
Okay, fine. So this is something, we got 8 minutes.
That was a joke. Don't start.
No. This is actually very important. So like I said, our brand is, so the brand who sponsors this show is called the Tincture Club. Okay. Yep. The Tincture Club is TINCTURE Club, thetinctureclub.com. Yeah, all right. There's a promo code. What's the promo code, Russ?
God knows. Not off the top of my head. Don't know off the top of my head.
Give me 1 second. There's a promo code. I think it's Men's Radio 10, and it gives you 10% off your first purchase.
That's it. Men's
Radio 10 gives you 10% off your first purchase. Now, what the Tincture Club have offered to do, this is to the audience out there. If any of you have ever wanted to try CBD, but you are terrified and don't know what to do, I want to pick 10 of you, and over the next 10 weeks, I want to see how CBD affects your life. So if any of you want to try CBD, please Facebook me or Instagram me, Oliver Mammon, okay? And please, please, please reach out to me. And what we'll do is we'll put you on a subscription of 1, 2, or 4 bottles, depending on what we think you need. And what we want you to do is keep a track of how CBD has affected your life. I've got no idea if it's going to help you or not, but it's a great way for us to get traction. And what we'll do is over the next few weeks, every week, you can come back to us. You can give us a little 30-second snippet on how it's affected your life this week, if it's made it better or if it's made it worse. And then what we can do is we can build that out. My company is also called Taylor Mammon. That's our manufacturing company. If any of you suffer with anything that tongue drops don't help with, okay, then we want to provide you balms. But at the end of the day, I would love to run this with the Tincture Club, because they are our sponsor, and the product is very simple, very straight to the point, and we've had some fantastic reviews from it. But I want to know, it's not about this will cure you. I want to know if it does cure you. Do you know what I mean? I want to know from your perspective whether or not it's helped you. So if you can kind of like reach out to me, or don't reach out to Russ, because he's not going to get back to you. But if you reach out to me, okay.
That's not fair.
Why? You're not going to get back to them. Come on. Some dude messaged you saying, I've got a bad back. You're not going to get back to him. So message me and let's see if we can create something, because it could make some
Sen
awesome
Monroe,
content.
this is it. You need stuff. Sen Monroe needs stuff to sleep. Right, Sen, you're up. You're going to do this.
Fine.
Make sure you do.
Sam, so send me a message.
S-E-N. Yeah, send Monroe.
Send me a message on Facebook, Oliver Mammon, and let's start this. Once again, I've got no idea if it's going to help you sleep. I really don't. But what we'll do is we'll try you, and you'll start the first day on 2 drops, which will be 10 milligrams, and you'll gradually work up until you find your sweet spot, and then you'll gradually work down until your sweet spot is still there. And then what we'll do is every week I want you to keep a track. I want you to keep a record. And if you don't keep your diary, we stop giving you your product, because the whole point is all about creating interaction, and it's all about us knowing full well what you're doing. So if you guys fancy reaching out and you fancy like getting involved in this little project, I think it'll be a great thing to do.
It's a good
and like
thing.
I said,
great idea.
Yeah, and the brand is called The Tincture Club. So I'm going to repeat that again, The Tincture Club. We have loads of videos on there, educational content and stuff like that, which are a little bit more dissected than this. It's all me as well. So, I mean, there's no hiding from that. But if you want to know about isolates or distillates or any of the random terminology I've used in this, there are little short clips to watch. And another thing is I want questions. So I would love you guys to go back now over the next week. Ask me anything. Literally, absolutely any questions. I have my general plans for what I want this show to be, but in general, this show's about you. This show's not about me. You know, I found my way. I know what I'm doing. Russ is completely legit. He talks about his kids like they're old and grown. I mean, like, neither one of us have to deal with what you're dealing with. It is all for you, this show. It's not for us. So what I would love to do is I would love you guys to reach out. I would love you guys to connect. I would love you guys to kind of, you know, open up a discourse, which is your discourse, you know, information that you want to know. Like, for example, which brand's the best? Honestly, none of them. There is no best CBD products out there. There are right products and there are wrong products. There are products which are mathematically accurate, consistent, reliable, and effective. And then there are products which are not that. So the whole point is I'm never going to sit down and say, you shouldn't be using that. You should be using my product. If you found something that works for you, never change it. If you change it, I will get angry at you. Why? Because what's the point of you searching for something when you found it? You know, it's like you've got the most beautiful girl or guy in the world and you go and decide to find someone else. It's fucking pointless. I swore. I did so well.
No, I was going to. You were great. Away. You were great. 4 minutes to go.
All right, I'm gone, guys. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not. Stop it. Stop it. No,
Russ told me if I swore.
When did I say? When did I say that? When did I say that?
I just thought maybe if I got a sympathy, if I got sympathy from the crowd.
No,
I don't want them to hate on me for swearing.
I don't think they're going to hate on you. Everyone seems to love this. Ben Gashuni says, "What a great show."
Yeah. Hey Ben. Hey buddy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
his brother,
my mate.
I don't know. Oh, he's
my mate. He's in Canada.
Now, fella, we got 3 minutes. Give us the details how people can get hold of you, because I've loved this, by the way. I knew you've been. I know it's taken a long time to get together because we had to work out what we wanted to do, and I'm really happy because you're happy, which is good. So give us all the addresses.
Hold on. Wait, are you only happy because I'm happy, or are you happy because you're also happy?
Both. Now, what's the addresses? This isn't the psychological. We've just signed up Dr. Dr. Pam Spur. We're not going to do psychology. She's dealing with the psychology. And we've got Dr. Maria Kempinska. She deals with psychology. We've got enough. Françoise Pascal, wonderful actress, says, she's French. I love this outspoken guy.
Salut, comment ça va? Si tu veux, on peut faire le prochain en français. Tu sais, moi, je parle français, donc si tu veux, on peut te parler un petit peu en français. On peut faire
Anyway, look, what's the addresses? Stop it. Stop going on the ball. Stop going on the ball just because she's a beautiful French actress.
You've been doing this for years, Russ. This is my first time ever. Let me enjoy it.
I know. Enjoy it. If only you could talk a little bit.
Stop radio shaming.
Give us the addresses. Come on, I've now got 2 minutes. Give me the addresses so I can get hold of you.
So first of all, the Tincture Club, it's our sponsor. Have to mention that again. All right. Visit the website, check out the information, all of that lot. Number 2, all right, my name's Oliver Mammon. So you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I think Instagram's better, but I mean, you can use my Facebook if you want, or LinkedIn. Those are the 3 options. Oliver Mammon, Oliver Mammon.
It's up on the screen. They can see.
And yeah, if there's anything I can ever do to help, please reach out to me. And if there's, you know, anything which we can chat about, please reach out to me. And yeah, like just like let's create a forum here. You know, it's so important to create a forum. You know, this industry needs it. And fact of the matter is you guys all deserve it. That's the most important thing. You guys need someone. You deserve someone to be honest with you. And
well, I've got 15 seconds, and I'm going to say this: you were in such a state about doing your first radio show, and I knew you'd be fantastic. And
I think
I've loved every second of it. The audience has loved every second of it. And bless you for coming on to Men's Radio Station. I'm back tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning with Mr. Phil Day for our 3-hour Friday special. Ollie, you take care of yourself. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you're going to do. And thank you for all that you've done. I really appreciate it. All right. I will see you soon. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. It's the first one of the ABC of CBD. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think it's been an absolute blast. More to come. Ollie Mammon is a freaking legend. Okay.
Tag your friends. Tag your friends.